Good evening. My name's Tim Billingsley. I'm a sergeant with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office in Shelby County, Alabama. I'm a student at Liberty University and currently attending the class of Group Dynamics, of which this assignment is required part of. I'll take you through my group experience, the lead up to planning to, take you through the actual meeting, how it went, and then finish up with some concluding thoughts and after action thoughts on since we've had a week or two now since the group's occurred. So then I'll get right into it. The meeting occurred on August the 2nd, 2017 at 0800 hours in the morning. I secured a building at our training facility for a small group session. The 8 members that I had invited, of which only 5 were able to attend due to off days and scheduling. But I had 5 plus myself. Each member had at least 15 years of service with the Sheriff's Office. A few had over 20. I'm at 21 myself. So I've known these men my entire law enforcement career, and I've worked with them. We're an agency of about 200 sworn, another 200 in the jail. But I've worked with these 5 men pretty much within the first 5 years of my career starting. We were in pretty serious working relationships with each other on patrol. Then we all made investigations together, Criminal Investigations Division. We all served on the SWAT team together at one point or another. And now we're currently all still firearms instructors and use of force instructors for the agency. So a lot of senior leadership and experience for the Sheriff's Office that was in that room that morning, and it was a pleasure to be able to conduct that meeting with them. The assignment to lead the group, I was excited about it. I had never done a group meeting like this, attended many, but I've never led one, so I did a lot of lead up, a lot of planning to make sure that this would be something positive for those men that were attending. But my choice of group for this assignment was a growth group, and it's directed at the members of the Sheriff's Office, which I described. And the focus was adjusting to agency change. The content or the context was a closed group, since I personally invited each, and it was only to be met that one time. The continuation of this going forward will probably be they spoke as if they would like to have more of those types of meetings, but scheduling will have to really fall in the line to make it happen. But I'm not ruling out individual time with any of them. Anything I can do to help. They attended voluntarily, and their attitudes were well and expectant of enjoying it. Since the group was scheduled for a single session meeting, the clarity of focus for the group was essential. Each member knew all the other members, and everybody knew me, and I knew them. So the opening element was not about, hey, this is who I am. It was more about, here's what we are here to do. I focused that on explaining what the meeting was for, and then I opened the floor to each member describing their involvement, to describe the involvement with the amount of agency change that they had personally experienced. My expectations for each member was to be fully involved in the discussion, open and honest. And I did maintain strict control of the section, the middle part of the meeting, when we finally got to a level we were really digging down. And I kept control to make sure that certain members didn't turn the whole meeting into a gripe session. And before I go too much further, I will add that the main opening that I gave was the confidentiality statement, and I felt that went a long way in opening up, building the trust early, knowing that whatever they had to say would stay within the group. Agency change. as I went from each person to person, and within the first couple, they would pull out a topic out of just whatever it was they just said, and I would be able to shift focus to that topic and get everyone involved. And then out of that 5, there would be another topic that would pull up, all related, that was just able to like breadcrumb its way all the way from the negative aspect of it over to, by the time the group ended, their perspective that they hadn't thought about, that maybe their perspective, they were just seeing things differently. So it worked beautifully, how it all came together. And I was really happy that my planning paid off and had some part in the success of that. Each member had experienced a personal duty position change due to administrative decision and not to disciplinary actions. But that still impacted them tremendously. I cannot describe how negatively this has affected those men. And but since our meeting and talking with them individually, they seem to have a better perspective and are trying to get a little bit better at handling their negative emotions. I didn't use any exercises. In the opening, I just went around the horn. The only handouts I used was a little paper on resiliency that they could take home with them and refer back to. Because the underlying need for the group is for each member to get the negativity out and to see that they are not the only ones being negatively affected by agency change. And after the meeting, we did a rundown, a quick summary of how they thought generally how the meeting went, if they got anything out of it, what's the 1 or 2 things that was the best for them, and then the after action on me, how they thought I could do better, what I did well at. So it was very, very, very well led, very methodical and clean. I guess would be the best way to describe it. The group leading exercise was a challenge, but very helpful in my ongoing training to become a life coach. Being able to be a part of a meeting with several strong Type A experienced law enforcement officers who had seen it all, been there and done it, was a testament to my preparation that I'm gaining from this class. And this leadership experience tested my abilities to control the group and keep it on task. So from the instructions, my leadership styles changed just so slightly toward the middle part, to where I used a little bit different type of functioning with the group. Instead of reflecting, I got more into questioning and being very specific on those to bring out that negativity, to help them understand that they don't have to take and accept where they are right now to where they can be. As my self-assessment on myself, I reflect on how I ran the meeting. My performance, I think, was well. I think it went within the parameters, being my first one and not cutting myself any slack. But I think it was good. It was very clean, very methodical, and at the same time, it allowed each person the time that they needed to discuss between themselves and others the issues that they needed to discuss. One thing that I do that I need to build on will be just my comfort as I gain experience. The experience factor is what's going to change that. So, in conclusion, a highlight of my experience and my most important takeaways are being able to help men like that who have given so much of themselves, veterans, law enforcement officers, who I'm also a peer of, where I can, you've automatically got that bond. You can just go right into the meat of the meeting. So with that, my concluding thought is, when you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Thank you.